Okay. Voice, hello, voice. Hello, greetings, hi, how are you? We good? Right, grand. I'm doing a tag. I haven't done one in a while, but my lovely friend Kathy did a tag called the coffee tag, and bearing in mind I don't exist unless there is caffeine in my system, I thought it would be appropriate to do said tag, and I picked out the best mug for it. When you put hot water in it, the words magically appear. Let's keep the dumb fuckery to a minimum today. Shall we? Right, yes, no, never gonna happen. So let's get started with the coffee tag. There are 8 questions altogether. Here we go. Question 1, black. Name a series that's tough to get into but has hardcore fans. I'm gonna have to go with The Dark Artifacts by Cassandra Clare. Now, don't get me wrong, I love The Mortal Instrument. I read Infernal Devices, started to get lost in that, and by the time that The Dark Artifacts came around, I was lost. I did try, I really did, but they got to a point where there was just too many characters, there was too many references to things that I didn't remember or couldn't place. But I know that they're die-hard fans and I appreciate them. Cassandra Clare, can you just pare it back a bit? I can't keep up. Question 2, Peppermint mocha. I wish England had these because they sound lovely. Name a book that gets more popular in the winter or at a festive time. The gut reaction to this is Let It Snow by Maureen Johnson and John Green and a bunch of other people that I can't remember. Kathy said they're going to make an adaptation of it, so that should be interesting. And I'm pretty sure Harry Potter kind of gets more popular around Halloween and Christmas. Everybody does a reread or rewatches the movies, so I'd say the Harry Potter series, really. Hot chocolate. What is your favourite children's book? You want me to pick between my babies? Are you crazy? Oh, this is stressful. I cannot possibly pick just one, but I have narrowed it down to 4. Sorry. We have Emmeline's Moon by Jenny Nimmo. This is the second in the Snow Spider trilogy. It's about a quiet girl whose empathy and love for other people solves this kind of big magical problem, and I love it. The second one I had to pick The Turbulent Term of Tyke's Highlight by Jean Kemp. This is about a young kid whose best friend keeps getting into trouble in junior school, primary school, and they try to help them out. But what I love about this is I didn't realise it at the time, and it's only in the last couple of years that it's come into my existence. But this was, I think, written in the 1980s, and the main character is non-binary, really. If you look at it from that time, this is what non-binary was back in the 1980s, and it's just, I love it so much. It's so brilliant. Then I have to go with Green Smoke by Rosemary Manning, which is about a magical green dragon that lives in a cave that likes sandwiches and cakes and silly little nursery rhymes. And I had this on audiobook when I was a child, and it's based in Cornwall, and we used to go to Cornwall on holidays to where this was set. I used to go to caves in Cornwall and shout into them and expect green dragons to come out of them. I was that child. And last but not least, out of my favourite kids books, I have to go with Danny, Champion of the World by Roald Dahl. I don't know if I love this because of the audiobook and the narrator. I don't know if I love it because of Jeremy Irons, who was in the film version of it. I have a massive soft spot for Jeremy Irons. Yes, okay. His voice is just... we won't go into that. It's about a father and son who live in a caravan. They work in a garage and fix cars, and the dad does a bit of poaching on the side, and he suddenly goes missing one night, and Danny has to go and save him. And it's so gorgeous, and the audiobook for this was just so brilliant and so alive. Question 4, double shot of espresso. Pretty much what I need every morning to get out of bed. Name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. I'm gonna have to go with Jack of Hearts and Other Parts by L.C. Rawson, which I recently got on audiobook. It's so good. So it's about a gay kid in high school who starts doing a column about sex education, because, you know, we all know sex education is rubbish, but this is full of actual real sex education, and it's about tips, and it's about relationships, and it's also, he has this stalker that's kind of taking over his entire life, and he's trying to deal with that and be true to himself, and he's very sex positive. He's very open. I mean, I took some of this advice that he was giving in the book that L.C. Rawson had written and just thought, you know what, you've got a point there, mate. I cannot explain how good this was. I couldn't put it down. I think I read it in one day. I was on the edge of my seat to find out who, what, where, when, what the frig was going on. It's so good, go and read it. By the by, this shows how bad my circulation is. If I do that against a hot coffee, can you see? My fingers turn it black because that's how cold my hands are. Question 5. Starbucks. Name a book that you see everywhere. Now, bearing in mind I am pretty much a housebound hermit person and I don't go out that often, on every single TV series that has a bookcase in the background, even in movies from a vintage bookshop, they had these on the shelf, which are the Penguin classic books. This one is Sense and Sensibility. They're cloth bound, they're very, very pretty, and they're on the shelf of Hazel Grace in The Fault in Our Stars, and they are also on my bookshelf because I own 3 of them, though technically at the moment they're propping up the camera. Question 6. The Hipster coffee shop. I wish I had one around here. Give a book or an indie author a shout out. I don't really know what classes as an indie author. I guess it's one that doesn't have a big publisher or something. I have gone with the poet Holly McNish, who rocks my little world. I haven't seen her books promoted that much. I went to watch her live once and she's brilliant. She does slam poetry that is so relatable, from talking about motherhood to talking about her best mate to talking about a guy she fancied while she was on holiday once to talking about conversations with her grandmother and going around for tea and biscuits. The everyday minutiae of life put into poems that rock your mind. I will figure up to the end of time. Question 7. Oops, I accidentally got decaf, which I should do more often because caffeine is bad for me. Name a book that you were expecting more from. Sisterhood Everlasting by Anne Brashears. It is the last in the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants series. I loved that series, but the last book, I think a lot was riding on it, so I think it was always going to be a difficult book to get right. But from my perspective, the characters were basically completely different women to the ones that we had been reading about in the last, 4 books I think before that? I get confused. The decisions didn't make sense. The way they were acting towards each other didn't make sense. I was completely baffled by that book and I didn't like it. Last question, as the sun disappears and it all gets a bit misty. Question 8, the perfect blend. Name a book or series that was the perfect mix between bitter and sweet. And it's All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, which is about Theodore and Violet, who are 2 people who are having some issues, shall we say. It's about mental health. It's a very honest look about mental health. One is dealing with the fact that their sister has died, the other one is dealing with the fact that suicide is on their brain and they have very deep, dark, depressive moments. They form a friendship and a bond and you feel this surge of happiness that they have each other and they're going to get through this and they're going to be a friendship, and then something else happens and it turns, and I saw the ending coming and I didn't see the ending coming, and it breaks your heart, but at the same time it's so honest. It's a very bittersweet ending, but it is also very, very true, and I appreciate that in this book. I appreciate this book for not giving me the happy, sweet, everything's going to be okay ending, because that's not what life is. And as my mug starts to go dark and my coffee starts to go cold, that is the end of the coffee tag. So I suppose I should tag some people, though I was never very good at that. So what I'm going to do is leave the questions down below, copy and paste them, have a read, see what you think, and I'm tagging you. If you would like to do this tag, please do, fellow coffee people, or if you're a tea person and you just fancied doing this tag. Enjoy. I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will now shut up because I'm tripping over my tongue. And it's gotten very dark. I think it's going to rain again. Okay, bye. My tap is dripping. Come on, lungs. It's been 2 months.